Okay, I am back with this is the ninja level edition, I guess. We'll call this of manuscript preparation. And this is something more you would do for yourself if you wanted to. Here's why I like it, I guess. Why I like doing this and why I would probably do it even if I didn't have to for production purposes. I like this because it's a sort of non-reading pass on the manuscript that lets you put a period, if you will, at the end of the writing process, just cleaning everything up. It's a tidying phase that signals to my brain that we are done with this step. And it also, with nonfiction, I tend to do this for another reason, much earlier, and even with complicated fiction, things that have a lot of different chapters with a lot of breaks and things in them. So I can, as you'll see, it kind of creates a 5,000-foot view of the manuscript, and you see things about the flow and the rhythm of it that I find helpful. So I'll just jump right in. Basically, what I'm going to be doing in this is creating styles. And a style is essentially a metadata set of instructions for um, uh, what a paragraph or a character should look like. And then you apply those to blocks of text, to individual words, instead of doing doing that basic formatting every time. And that style in Word can communicate with layout programs like InDesign, and it can make getting the book into getting the manuscript into a book format much easier. But there are, as you'll see, there are other reasons to do it. So I've got this manuscript open. By the way, if you looked at the other video, you might have noticed that I didn't clean one thing up, and I can show you how to do that real quick. As you see at the beginning of some of these paragraphs, there's this extra space. Quick way to clean that up. So we go find, replace. We want to remove paragraph followed by a space. There's no circumstance under which you need that. So put that in, and then we're just going to replace it with paragraph and no space. And now we'll do that again just in case. Okay. Now they all should be gone. So no, done with the remedial stuff. Now we'll switch to styles. First thing, I'm going to open up, you have your style menu here in the ribbon, and this is, again, Word for Windows. It's similar, but just different enough that maybe I'll do one of these for Mac on my Mac. But anyway, I'm going to open up the bigger style tab just so I can see more options. So I click that button. Now I have the enhanced style palette. This actually looks a little bit like what you'd see in InDesign. And I'm going to go to options. And here I want to show, select styles to show. I don't want to see what Word recommends. I only want to see what's in use. Because I'm going to create new styles to go in here, and eventually I want to get to only styles that that I created. Now, all of my styles are going to have LPG in front of them, Learner Publishing Group, so that the designer knows that this is the house style. You can use whatever the heck you want. Okay, the first style I'm going to create is the style that we will be using most often in the book. That is just a regular indented paragraph. So if you have one that's already formatted, how you want it to look, in terms of spacing and font and all of that, then just have the cursor in that and then click this button here for new style. And then I'm going to call this LPG E3 indent. That's our code. The main thing is this is the indent paragraph. Paragraph in there just for illustration's sake. Now, next thing, we want this definitely to be a paragraph style as opposed to a character style or a linked style. Linked styles are a pain for InDesign purposes, so that's why I'm creating new ones. So this paragraph style, which means that it has instructions for how to format a paragraph and how to format the text within it. So font and size and italic or not italic, plus indent and all of that, justification, all that things. It doesn't matter what font you pick, because you can change that anytime when you change the style. So just pick one that you like. Same goes for spacing. I don't actually like double spacing so much, so I just change that to 1.5. The next thing you do is grab this format thing and go down here and grab paragraph. Just to point this out, this has all the alignment stuff. It also has this thing hidden in there. It's outline level, and this will become important later, but I just wanted to show you when I first opened it. I want this at the body text level, but you have lots of other levels, and this will correspond to things like table of contents and later when I show you the document map. But for now, this is just a text paragraph, so I want it as body text. Okay, that style is created. Now I just applied it to the paragraph that I was sitting on. So here's what I would generally do. This is the for a fairly straightforward manuscript like this, a novel manuscript. I'm going to now select all and apply this style to everything. All right, so now even all those chapter heads are in the body paragraph style. That's easy enough to fix. There aren't that many of them. So now I'm going to go and create the next most common style. And that is, in this book, in most books, there's a non-indented version of the paragraph style. So for the first paragraph of a chapter or a paragraph after a break within a chapter, you don't want an indented paragraph. So I'm just going to be in the first paragraph here. Oops. Grab the ruler, kill the indent. So I just pulled it over. Now it's an unindented one. Now I'm going to hit New Style. And this is LPG T3, no indent paragraph. Everything else remains the same. Review here just for the heck of it. Paragraph, body text, all of that the same. No space before or after. Okay. Now that's created. Now the next thing I would do is start to create the heading styles. And this book only has one heading, but I'll show you this. I don't think this manuscript has breaks within chapters. Either with asterisks or some character or a double hard return or something like that. It doesn't have those, but I'll make it up just so you can see how I do it. Now let's do a chapter number style. So I just pick any chapter number. This really doesn't matter, whatever you pick here. The main thing is that the style be applied, because whatever the nature of the style, whatever the specific parameters, that'll be overwritten in InDesign. So just pick something in Word that's conspicuous to you. Right, so 14-point bold. Well, let's just do it centered for the heck of it. So all of that's applied. Now that's how you want it to look. Now hit New Style. And as you can see, it picked up that formatting. So we're going to call this LPG T1 chapter number. Paragraph style, blah, blah, blah. All of this is how I want it. Now, remember what I said about outline level. So now I go to Format, Paragraph, Centered. It's on body text, but I want this at level 1, and you'll see why in a minute. And these chapter numbers have a hard return in front and back to create space. I'm going to delete those as I go through, as a final pass. So I'm going to just put that space in the way, in a way that it'll still be there visually, but it won't have invisible characters. So let's say 12 points before and 6 points after, just for the sake of argument. Okay. So now you see that style there. Now we're going to go over to View and hit Navigation pane. So this has got your find box and all that good stuff. If you click over here, browse the headings in your document, you start to see the things that are on various outline levels. So there's one, that's that one. And I'll go down to chapter 2, wherever it is. Oh, looks like I missed it. Well, we'll grab chapter 3 and apply PG. As you see, they start to appear. And you can see why this, I think you can see pretty quickly why this would get handy for nonfiction, where you have A heads, B heads, even C heads, and they have titles, because you'll start to see a real-time outline of your manuscript. And with novels that have lots of breaks within chapters, I'll show you what I do there. Let's just say, for the heck of it, that throughout this manuscript there are either double hard returns, which if you watched the previous one, you know how to do a find and replace. You replace those with an actual character so that it's easy to see that intra-chapter break, that break within a chapter. Even if the final design isn't going to have that, it's better just to make it a visual, non-invisible character. So let's just say that it's the 3 asterisks, pretty common. Here's what I do. So go back to this, center it, remove the indent if you care to. I make these red often just so that they're really conspicuous. And then create a new style. So this is called LPG break within chapter. I like really explicit style names. Now, here we are in that paragraph menu. Now, body text, or this is that outline level thing again, level 2. Put some space on either side, just for the heck of it. And now you'll be able to see when chapters have lots and lots and lots of breaks within them and chapters where they don't. And when I'm editing a novel, that's something I like to see because it tells me a little bit at a glance about rhythm and sort of the flow of a chapter. It's useful. And now after that, I would go to making that a no indent paragraph. Once you've got this done and you start to apply all of these to the chapters, then you can go. What I do then to apply those no indent paragraphs is I just start clicking, and I know the next paragraph, or I click on the headings, and I know that the first paragraph after that heading needs to become a no indent one. I just kind of go through like that, and this is where I clean up the extra hard returns at the beginnings of chapters. Sometimes you accidentally remove the style as you do it, and you just add it back in. And then I just keep going until it feels clean and final. And there's a part of me that takes a great deal of pleasure in that, but it's also a neater manuscript in the end. And I think that's a good way to move it on to the next step. I think that ought to clear everything up. That's basic novel level stuff. You know, adding for nonfiction, adding a B head is the same as adding that A head. You can use the outline level goes God knows how deep. So if you need to go 2, 3, 4 levels deep, you can, and this the pane over here on the left will show that. Those headings also correspond with your table of contents. So if you do insert a table of contents, that's fairly straightforward. Let's see, that's in references. And you can insert a table of contents that way, and it'll grab. It says heading 1, that corresponds with the heading style, heading 1 style. But what it really does is it corresponds with the outline level 1. So in this case, so there you have chapter 1, chapter 2, then the second level, those breaks. You see what I mean? I don't really need a table of contents for a novel, so I'll delete that. But I think that should cover it. That's how I use style sheets. I don't know if there's if there's any circumstance under which your publishing house would want to tell you what their internal styles are so you could match them up. That's not really the point of this exercise. The point of this is that it's tidy and it creates a way to see the text that I find useful. It's entirely optional. But like I said, useful. I don't think, and if an editor or a production person or whoever wants to then turn the manuscript into something that matches their house styles, it will be easier if it's formatted this way. So that about covers what I do. Thanks for watching.